They only wanted to get away. Derek, Maya, Jordan, and Elise had been talking for months about escaping the noise of the city. Just a couple of days away from the grind. No traffic, no neon lights, no endless phones buzzing. When Derek found a little-known trailhead in a remote forest 2 states over, it seemed perfect. Quiet, untouched. A place to pitch a tent, sit by the fire, and breathe. They packed their gear, crammed into Derek's Jeep, and drove for hours. The farther they went, the fewer cars they saw. By the time the road narrowed into cracked pavement and thick pine trees crowded the horizon, it felt like another world. It was at a gas station, the last one for miles, that someone first mentioned the legend. The man behind the counter, an older guy with a scar down his cheek, looked up from the register as Derek paid. "Where you kids headed?" "Devil's Hollow Trail," Derek said. "Gonna camp a few nights." The man's eyes darkened. He shook his head slowly. "Not a good idea. That forest isn't right. People see things there, hear voices. Sometimes, they don't come back at all." Maya raised a brow. "Like Bigfoot?" she teased. The man didn't laugh. "Worse? They say something hunts those woods, takes your shape, your voice, your soul. Don't look at its eyes." When the group got back to the car, they couldn't stop laughing. "Classic backwoods horror story," Jordan said, rolling his eyes. "Probably trying to scare off tourists." Elise frowned, watching the trees pass by as they drove on. Still, the way he said it. "Come on," Derek interrupted. "You believe every creepy story an old guy tells you?" By the time they reached the trailhead, the sun was low, painting the forest in orange fire. They hiked with their packs, joking, snapping photos, trying to ignore how quickly the shadows closed in. It wasn't until the first night fell that the laughter faded. Around the campfire, the woods were unnervingly quiet. No insects, no birds, not even the sound of wind in the branches. Just silence, heavy and suffocating. "Guess we picked the deadest forest in the state," Jordan muttered, tossing another stick into the fire. Then Elise stiffened. Her eyes locked on the tree line. "Did you see that?" The others turned. Between the trunks, 2 glowing yellow eyes blinked back at them. Derek smirked. Probably a deer. But when he aimed his flashlight, the beam landed on something else, a figure standing upright, still, watching. And then, before their eyes, it shifted, rippling like water, until it wore Elise's face. Her jacket, her hair, even her terrified expression. The real Elise stumbled back, shaking her head. "That's not me." The copy melted into the trees. From that moment, the air changed. The woods pressed in, the shadows deeper, the silence heavier. Their fire seemed too small, too fragile. The eyes returned again and again, sometimes on the trail behind them, sometimes just beyond the firelight. Always the same yellow glow, always shifting into their shapes, each time it moved just a heartbeat too late, like a reflection in a broken mirror. By the second night, sleep was impossible. They huddled in their tent, whispering, listening to footsteps circling their camp. At dawn, Derek snapped, "We're leaving, screw this." But the trail had changed. It twisted endlessly, looping back on itself. No matter how far they hiked, they found themselves returning to the same clearing. And then Derek screamed. They turned, and there were 2 of him. One thrashing, panicked, and the other standing just behind, grinning with a mouth stretched impossibly wide, splitting cheek to cheek. They ran. Branches tore at their clothes. Their lungs burned. Every time they dared look back, glowing eyes followed. Sometimes Maya's face, sometimes Jordan's, sometimes Elise's. Each one smiling too wide, moving too wrong. At last, they burst into a moonlit clearing. Relief hit them in a wave as they counted. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Elise whispered, "Why are there 5 of us?" They turned slowly. Across the clearing stood another Maya, identical except for the glowing eyes. From the shadows, more emerged, dozens. Familiar faces, all twisted, all smiling, all wrong. Their flashlights sputtered and died. And in the pale glow of the moon, The last thing the four saw were hundreds of glowing eyes closing in. The gas station clerk wasn't surprised when no one came back.